Zeina. How are you,
It's
Jill?
starting to record, I think. So hopefully
Yeah.
we know how this
Hi,
works.
everyone out there in the world. How are you today? I hope everyone's doing well. Zeina, how are you, Angel?
I'm doing really well, darling. How are you?
You know what? If I was any better, they would call me Zeina.
What are you drinking there, Michael?
A little bit of Mott's Clamato with a splash of vodka.
Oh,
I thought I would ground myself. I haven't drank for like about 25 years.
oh yeah, that's pretty good, man.
You know what? I think I just lied. I had a shot of a Glenlivet in 2005, and I almost died because I don't drink uh, alcohol. That's why they call them spirits, right, Zaina?
Mm.
Because you imbibe a lot of that, and guess what? The spirits settle in, and the next thing you know, you're acting like an idiot.
Mm. So are you gonna finish that painting behind you, that blue one that you have the face covered?
Yeah, I got frustrated with that, Zaina, because I have neurological spasms. I've been in a wheelchair for about 32 years. That painting, I started it about 20 years ago, believe it or not.
Wow.
And yeah, I got frustrated. I had spasms, and instead of taking a break from the painting, I'm stubborn, and I continued. I was detailing the face, and sure enough, I the spasms were so violent that the paint got away from me and blotched the face up, and so I just left it, and I haven't touched it since. So, but that's the painting in regards to the Merkaba, the chariot of the soul vehicle, the vehicle of the soul, what we travel in.
Yeah, yeah.
This that what we call the aura is just a tiny glimpse of the sphere of a diamond light that we are actually. So
Have you heard of these machines that do aura pictures?
yeah, it's called the Curlian photography. Yeah, I've had one done. Have you?
No, are they legit?
Oh, absolutely. What you do is you put your hands on two metal plates, and what it'll do, it's a conductive electromagnetic interface, right? Where when they snap the picture, what it does is it captures that electromagnetic pulse as a color spectrum coming through the field around you. So it'll
But
show
it's
up
only measuring your aura in that given moment, in that given
in
second,
that
in that
given moment.
now.
Exactly, Angel. Because the thing is, it's like in that moment you could be having a bad day, and all of a sudden your aura shows up black, right? I mean, I had a picture taken, but I was feeling absolutely fantastic. I was just at a booth at a fair, at a booth filled with crystals. And then my friend said, "Hey, there's a Korean photography booth over there." And I was talking to that guy almost 20 minutes, and
Mm.
it was crystals all around me. I took a picture. It was $20 US. I took a picture, and it was all purple around me, right? And there
Okay.
was six white lines coming right through me. And the person that was doing the readings, they would read the auric field and the colors, and they said, "You have six guides," because I had six lines running through me and all purple. My friend was muddy black.
Ugh. No, I didn't get it. In Sedona, Arizona, there's lots of places for things like that, but I didn't go
Absolutely.
because I always just thought, I guess there's a part of me that's like, oh, it's just a gimmick. It's not
It's
true.
skeptical. I get it. I get it. You know why, Angel? Because we've been taken advantage of in this new age spirituality. We've been taken advantage of so many times. I've had so many Reiki healings and crystal healings and sessions of different modalities, right? It's only $100. It's only $150. It's only $300. And sometimes they were friends, that got into courses and they got their degree in it, they got their certificate, right? I
You know,
completed a
it's
3 week.
amazing. Anybody can gather up a number of people to follow them blindly and believe in what they do. Anyone can do that.
No, yes. And how much of that is going on today? How much of that is going on today where people are just following whatever dictates are laid out? because they're desperate for an answer of sorts. You
Mm.
follow? And I mean,
Answer to what question?
to what question? Who are we? What are we here for? What's the purpose? Now, with all of the drama that's going on in the world today, you know, we find ourselves really looking for an answer. I mean, a real answer that is valid, that we can apply in our lives and see results, as opposed to trying to do whatever comes up and then seeing no results at all. Because how many times have we followed a certain program that had promised us results and nothing, and we get nothing from it?
Mm. I think because, like, I'm releasing my I've put a yoga program together, and it's 5 chapters, and
Okay.
I'm releasing the first chapter in just a couple less than 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And I think about that. I think about, like, how can I make this experience not like any other experience? I mean, the sheer fact that this experience is being done, facilitated by me, makes it unique and different than any other experience out there. But I thought about that. I thought about that element of, like, what makes something different, what sets it apart. And there has to be a genuine element of wanting to connect, and not, on a genuine human level. And it's and in my life, I find, like, the best way I've been able to connect with people is through us sharing conversations and
Absolutely.
ideas, and creating space for each other to listen and to be heard. So,
Yes, yes. That's what we're doing here. We are all teaching and learning. Okay. I look at it this way, Zaina. Um, I shared with you before. I haven't shared with the audience, but I had an experience. I had an experience with the light. And I'll tell you that on that level of awareness, we revere each other. We revere each other because we have qualities that we want to possess. As souls, I look at you as a soul, and you have qualities that I don't have. So I revere you for those qualities. I want you to share those qualities with me, and vice versa. You revere my soul for the qualities that I possess, and you want me to share my abilities with you. Because, see, as souls, we travel through the eternal realms, and they're vast. It's impossible to cover all of the internal realms. We can travel ongoing, nonstop, and never, ever even reach near the beginning of what eternity means.
mm,
If that makes any sense, because it's like to the mind, the mind
you
wants
can't,
to,
I realize that you can't filter everything through the mind, because often what
you
happens with
can't, you
me.
can't. I was about
Yeah.
to say that. I was about to say the mind wants to wrap everything around a form. You see?
A previously seen form. So
Yes,
that's the
absolutely. A recognizable form.
mm,
You're right. That's why I think about when we look at, as children, nobody taught us. As children, we were laying down on the grass in the summer heat and looking up in the sky, and you say, doesn't that cloud look like a horse?
mm,
Because the mind wants to make everything recognizable,
mm, mm,
right?
mm.
And the cloud may not look nowhere near a horse, right?
But
But
as
if you
soon as
can
someone tells you that,
agrees it's a horse, man. So think about the collective consciousness across the planet. Okay. One person, it said one candle can light 1,000, and those 1,000 more, and so on and so forth. Now think about that analogy in regards to people, or the story of Chicken Little. the sky is falling. It was a little pebble from the mountain, and all of a sudden, when it got to the 100th person, the whole damn sky is coming down.
Mm,
So think of the collective consciousness. Not only are people involved in thought processes that saturate the world, right? And everybody buys into whatever is saturated, but the media itself, everybody's got that little box in their home, and maybe two,
mm,
three, four of those boxes that are constantly beaming out what it is that you're to think, feel, do. Your whole life is based on the frequency that is transmitted through that little box. There's a book was written in the late 40s by George Orwell called 1984. It was a curriculum in high school. I remember reading it in grade 9. Everyone in the book, everyone had a box in their home that would
mm.
transmit what to think, what to do. The
Yeah, I mean
motto of
that's it. That is that is TV's main. What a great way to enter every single home is to make it a source of entertainment, information, release of anxiety, and all of that stuff.
oh
And
yeah.
and at the same time, so people think they're getting benefit, they're getting entertained, they're getting their news, they're if they're anxious they can release. Meanwhile, the the true meaning of why that box entered their homes is to be able to control the masses. That's always the goal. I mean, I think the goal is always to manage the masses.
Absolutely, Zaina. I agree 100%. There was something, if you look up Tavistock Institute, it's called the Tavistock Institute. I believe it was established in 1938. It was reorganized because it has been around for a long time. It's gone under the guises of many different names.
What is it
And
called?
Tavistock Institute, Tavistock, Tavistock Institute. And it is a social engineering organization. They're meant to implement for future generations what it is that's transmitted through the media and so on and so forth. And they dictate fashion, politics, music, and so on and so forth. And what that does is it literally steers the next generation
Oh
as
yeah.
to how they would want them to behave. Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
so that's how fashion trends come and go. I mean, it's not just one person all of a sudden starts wearing a certain kind of outfit and it catches on. No, it's literally implemented by a whole system, right? And it the system is it's called by many names. We won't get into that today because it's really deep, right, Zaina?
Mm,
You know about it, hun. Anyways, we are today in a very dramatic time, aren't we? We find ourselves
yes.
in that time.
Yes, we are.
And
Dramatic
how,
time indeed. I have to say, like I am, I'm allowed to have an opinion about what's going on in the world. And I truly do miss looking at human expression and human
oh my
faces.
God, are you kidding me?
And the other day in the plane coming back, there was a baby behind us, and the baby was crying. We've been on the plane for a while now. We're getting off. I turn around, I remove my mask, and I look at the child, and the child, she quiets down right away and stuff. And the mother then explains that her daughter's been, born into this. And I started to share my opinion about how the children growing up and being born in this pandemic, it's going to be a devastation on their development because they're missing out the vision of seeing the sounds
Oh yes,
and how we
absolutely.
move our mouth and all of that, just even human expression, how to express it.
Yeah.
But then I I just, we were unloading the plane. I looked at her and I was like, I'll keep my opinions to myself, because there's a time and place to share. And
Yes, absolutely. And saying that you're absolutely right in the sense that right now is a delicate time in regards to expressing your opinion, because if people can see your face, it's one thing. You expressing an opinion behind a mask, no. People are not going to take that to heart, because the thing is you're only giving them a portion of the reality, meaning you're showing your eyes. You're not like you said, you're not showing your full expression. So they're not receiving completely the truth, because the truth is whole, as in holy. And that means a whole face being shown with the holy truth.
mm,
See, the mask is, I look at it as slave training, because I
are we
relate.
allowed to say that?
Why not? I mean, we related to back in the
I mean,
day.
you know what? We can use the code word. It's handmade stale in the making.
Okay, well there you go. It's like, think about it. It's here we are, not able to smile at one another, right? As you said,
For me, sorry to interrupt you, Michael, but
no, not at all. Go ahead.
it's not even about that. It's about the fact that, like, people now, it's like pointing the finger. Like, if you're not scared behind a mask, wearing it all the
Yeah.
time, like,
Yes.
something is wrong with you. And it's like, why are we doing that to each other? Why are we now name calling and put
No.
saying us and them? Like, it seems like anything and everything that ever comes up to the surface under the pretentious and under the pretense of, oh, it's about freedom, in a way is separating us from them. And even in this talk we have about masks and no masks, we have to be careful how we approach this, so that we're not falling into the trap of saying us and them. It's
Yes, yes. You're absolutely right. Zeta, we are all grouped in the same group. Whether we're wearing them or not wearing them, we are looked at the same way, okay?
mm,
There's an agenda behind all of this. We don't have to get into that. All we have to do is realize that there's something happening that's bigger than what we are seeing. Because
always, yeah.
if we're seeing it, there's an energy behind it that is massive, because it's affecting, it's worldwide, it's across the whole planet. So it's like one moment, so the critical mind would say, wait a minute, we were all competing against each other a moment ago, and now all of a sudden we're all cooperating. There's an agenda here. Everyone, we can say that whoever's controlling or running this whole show, right, has put it across the board that this is what is to happen right now across the board. It's never happened, a unification across the board. So we can look at it like this. If it's unified across the board as tragedy, okay, because we live in a polarity, it's unified across the board as a blessing. Or, again, I will say this, I don't like the word blessing. I'll say as a benediction. A benediction would be from on high, a grace extended. A grace is settling in on this planet, just like there is a darkness settling in, because we live in polarity. So, because there is this pandemic, tragic event, this darkness that is settling in, there's just as much light settling in.
Mm.
So it's up to us, as the Buddha would say, the middle path. Because both extremes are showing themselves now in this polarity realm,
Mm.
we don't buy into one or the other, because we realize they're both interplaying to make the whole thing as one. The Buddha said the middle path, and Jesus said narrow is the way to salvation. So they're saying the same thing. If the pendulum swings to sadness, it's going to swing just as far to the opposite side to happiness, just to
Yeah,
remain
it's so comforting
balanced.
to have that relationship with polarities, the understanding that they both have the right to be, you know. It's really helped me, for me, for me, anchoring myself deeper in non-duality. Every opportunity I can to, you know, feel the attachment but lean back into non-attachment. Every time I get to experience life and at the same time contemplate death, I enjoy those moments where I can be, um, no longer really, no longer unconsciously driven by previous memories and images that I normally associate with words like death and sadness and depression. I no longer see these things as like, um, negative, and it's
Yeah.
simply because you know, I've learned through yoga and life and experiencing that, you know, they're both of equal value. No one more important than the other. And I think, you know, the more gracefully we can face those moments in our life that we deem negative,
Yeah.
the easier they become. I have a friend of mine, she lives in New York. She just got together with her fiance and they got pregnant, and in the beginning of the pregnancy she found out that her baby is going to have, it's the condition where their intestines are developing on the outside of the baby.
Oh my
And
God.
I remember it's their first baby. It was coming in the pandemic, you know, but she received the information with such grace, such, really true feminine power of just accepting life as it comes. And, you know, her birth day came to give birth and stuff. And she had such a lovely, relaxed story. And I remember sharing with her and telling her, like, I really truly believe in my heart of hearts was when life presented you with such a situation where your reaction could have been attaching to the pain and trauma of what that could have been. You gracefully accepted what life presented you with, knowing that you have the tools to navigate that. And hence, because you accepted what life is in that moment, when your birthday came, you had such a beautiful birth story to share. It was beautiful. It was perfect. It wasn't clouded by old stories of what we think giving birth is or isn't, whatever stories you come to this life bearing about what that looks like. But it was such a beautiful, uh, reminder for me that the more we can face, um, all situations in our life, whether we deem them good or bad, negative or positive, when we can face them with grace, we life starts easing up.
Absolutely, Zena. I agree. See, when you're relaying the story about your friend accepting what is, right? Um, life is consciousness that is constantly embracing greater and greater awareness. Now, when we realize that we are that consciousness itself, moving like a wave through the ocean, embracing greater and exploring more and more of that ocean of awareness, we realize that it's not static. It doesn't stay still. It's constantly moving, right? And so a quote, I don't know if Bruce Lee came up with this quote or if he quoted it from the Tao Te Ching or Lao Tzu, but there's a saying, and it goes, he who is able to change with change enters the changeless way. And so here we are. When you're relaying your story about your friend accepting with grace, that's the key to riding the wave of consciousness is acceptance. is saying yes to the moment. Because as soon as we resist the moment, what happens is our life starts to go sideways. Everything seems to you break a glass, you stub your toe, your friend doesn't make the meeting, yeah, you're late for the bus, you get fired from your job, you get a ticket on the way home, nobody likes you anymore. I'm dying of cancer. What the fuck? Sorry. But as soon as you look away from the word yes and say no, it's as if life is saying to you, look, I'm going to throw every piece of shit that I got available to make you turn back towards yes. And because of our stubbornness, our resistance, right? We want it our way. I want it my way.
Yeah, I mean, some people let go of that. I feel like there are parts of me that have let go of that
Yeah.
childish,
Okay.
I definitely want this my
Yeah.
way. And there are parts of me that wants things to go my fucking way. So
Yeah, of
I
course.
recognize yeah, the presence of both of those parts.
Yes, and again, we have to honor the sense that we have that choice of saying yes or no. At the same time, through experience, we
So,
know.
Michael,
Yeah, no, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah. So, like for people who are watching, hey, people who are watching, Michael and I are just kind of spontaneously doing this. We often have really beautiful, heartfelt conversations. Sometimes they can end at the drop of a second, and that's just the
Yeah,
way it is. Hey, gotta go, gotta go.
gotta
But we
go.
thought, hey, let's record them because sometimes there's some true gems in there. So I'm excited to I'm excited to see what kind of engagement we get with those videos, Michael. I really am.
Yeah, me too, Zaina. Me too. I really feel that this, because our intentions are to be of service, I feel that many individuals are going to benefit from this, including ourselves, because we're all here, as we were conversing before this, we're all here as students and teachers. We revere each other on the soul level because you have qualities that I don't have, and vice versa. And so, in order for us to gain qualities of other souls, right? We cooperate on that level. We cooperate, like I said, we revere each other. We worship each other for those qualities. Because the thing is that when we come here to the realm of opposites, if we revere each other in that realm, the opposite is true here. There's a competition. There's almost, think about it, the jealousy that comes into play here. It's like, oh yeah, sure, they can do this. Yeah, okay, big
Well,
deal.
I revere you for being such an artist and being able to create this beautiful art behind you. And I'm looking
Oh,
forward to
thank you,
getting
Zane.
my sweater. The lion behind you that's in like green is going
Oh,
on a black hoodie. And I cannot wait to get my extra large sweater with that
oh,
printed on the back. I really
oh,
am.
oh, good, Zane.
So yeah, and so do let me know how to wire you that money, bud, because I really want
Yeah,
to get
yeah,
my
for sure.
sweater.
I'll let you know when they're available. And Zaina, I revere you for the master yoga teacher that you are. Since I've known you, I believe we met in 2002, I believe. 2002. So that's like what, 19 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so, and I remember, that the very first time we spent any significant time together, right? We were traveling to the Megan Center. It was a jade massage bed center, and it was in Ann Arbor. And we come from Canada going to Michigan, and we spent quite a while just traveling, and just to come to know you and realize that you are such a sacred being. You're such a light, and I remember it's like hearing your name for the first time, thinking like, what a great name, Zane. I never heard that before.
Mm.
You know.
My name in the Middle Eastern culture is a little bit associated with like gypsy style, and I always reveled in that. I loved that about my name.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
you're a
I
worldwide traveler. You travel
yeah,
everywhere.
I,
She's a master yoga instructor. She's been everywhere in the world.
yeah,
I,
yoga is definitely, I don't know if there's ever a master yoga instructor, or a master in
I say that,
anything
honey,
in life.
because
I know.
I seen you do some moves that I have no clue how you do. But
Yeah, I
you're a
suppose.
you're a great yoga student. How's
Yes,
that?
I will say that I'm a great yoga student. It has definitely been a very enriching part of my life. It is where I started. It is where I started the relationship back to myself, remembering myself. It's so yoga has definitely been a big influence in my life, and I love that after leaving that path for a few years, I'm now back on and determined to share myself through yoga, and just focus on doing that and doing it really well. So thank you, Michael. I love
Oh
you
my
for
God,
that.
listen, I know you're too humble to even plug it, but I will say Zaina is offering yoga instruction. I believe there's 5 to 6 modules.
So
And
I'll tell you,
yeah,
yeah.
you could get in touch with her. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Zaina.
So it's like it's 5 chapters or 5 modules, and I'm working with module 1 right now, March 1st. But yeah, if there's any questions, kind of comment, Michael and I will be reading the comments. And if you have any questions, let me know of your interest, and I'm happy to share a little bit more information about that. But yeah, I'm super excited about this, Michael. It's going to be super cool. Like some of the women have, I'm just really excited about the journey of watching myself come into my leadership role finally in my life at the age of 44, whatever that number
Oh, that's
means.
a powerful number. Powerful. I'll share it with you. Go ahead.
So I'm really looking forward to the journey of experiencing myself step into that role. I've already come into like bouncing with that part of myself a few times, as I am working with my course and my creation, whatever I want to really call it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the journey of getting to know myself through how I show up for these women, how I show up for myself, and how I hold myself accountable in the space container of 6 weeks. Going to be super cool. What a
It
cool
is.
experience.
It is awesome, awesome that you get to share with so many different individuals. And again, one candle can light 1,000. And so those women think about how many individuals they will share with, right? And that's the whole process of transformation here. It's like, have you ever seen, like, especially the African beehives that are massive beehives? They will touch, like the guys that go and get the honey from, right? They have to scale these big cliffs, right, to go and get these massive beehives that are attached to the cliff, and they'll collect honey, right? And so they have to move the bees out of the way. And
Mm.
so with a stick, they'll lightly tap one end. And so they'll even tap one bee, and that bee, it'll flutter a wing, and it'll flutter the bee next to it, and the whole hive, you just see it go
Wow.
across, like a domino. Dominoes, you push one over. And so it's like that. This is how we light the world aflame, how we illumine the darkness that's settling right now, and how we
Yeah, I love that. I love that you break it down to this just simple acts, because often I think what's happened in the spiritual world as
yeah,
well, they've sold the idea of, you know your work should be aligned with your purpose, and yeah, that's great, and that works sometimes.
yeah,
But I think that there are parts in your life where you will not be doing that kind of work, because you have to get to know the grits of who you are, which means doing odd things that you're not necessarily want to do, but are good at. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good
absolutely,
at cooking, running a kitchen. I don't like to do it, but I'm good at it.
yeah.
So it um Yeah.
We all have our qualities that we excel at, hun. And so
Yeah.
the
Oh,
quality,
sorry, to loop it back. I was
yeah,
saying that, often it's like it's important not to get lost in like thinking that our life has to have a big meaning or a big
right.
impact. It really doesn't. It has
No,
to do with how you show up in your community, in your immediate environment. And
yes,
if you shall pass today, and that will be the last breath that you take, how will the people around you truly remember you?
yes, absolutely, absolutely. You know, you're right in that it doesn't have to be a grand gesture, right? Your days are basically a repeat of the day before. If you really think about it, most people are working job day to day, the same routine they have, right? So when you say showing up, when you show up and you're in a routine, you're lost. You forgot yourself. Change
It's
it up.
funny. It's funny you say that because society trains us to create a routine.
Yes, yes. And society, it's a hypnotic trance when you think about it. It's the same thing as me hypnotizing you and and uh, and hypnotizing you into behaving like a chicken, and you
Yeah.
walk around on stage like a chicken. Well, if
Quack,
I
quack, quack,
yeah,
quack.
if I train you to walk around or to get up in the morning and
Quack
go
like a
to a
chicken.
go to a job every day, then you will never question that. Especially if I take you from a very young age, let's say from 5 years of age, and I put you into a building that trains you. We call it school, right? Mark Twain would say, I never let my schooling interfere with my education, right? So
I
here we
have to say that's a beautiful quote.
it is. Mark Twain, aka alias known as Samuel Clemens was his name. He was a pilot, a riverboat pilot on the Mississippi. Now, sometimes the Mississippi River, the area that you're traveling through can be very shallow, and you have to steer the boat into the deeper parts of the water. So there would be a man that would have a giant measuring stick, right? And he would bring it down to see how low the water was. And if the water was too low, he would yell out to the captain, Mark Twain, meaning the water's too low. You got to move to deeper water. And
Mm,
so he used the pen name Mark Twain.
mm.
I never let my schooling interfere with my education. And here we are. We were talking about being spontaneous. Smile. Pull that mask down and give somebody a smile. Don't be shy.
Yeah, it's like okay, wear it. Just drop the fear. You know what I mean? Just drop the fear. I found myself in an Uber the other day, and I'm gonna be just very vulnerable and open here. And the Uber driver was like, it felt he was wearing the mask. I was wearing the mask, and it felt like he had a cold. And I found myself wrestling in my mind, going like, oh, he shouldn't be working. He might have COVID. And I was like telling myself, get the fuck out of here. Fuck off. Like,
That's right.
no,
But
don't go there with your
there was,
thoughts. And I
you know
dropped the
what?
thought right away.
They weren't even your thoughts. They
Like
were
I was,
not even your thoughts. I'll tell you, in the collective right now, all of those thoughts in regards to COVID are circulating through the collective. See, the thing is that people don't realize that just like a radio station transmits frequencies and our machines pick up, our radio tuners pick up those frequencies, you turn it from one station to the next and it picks up a different frequency, just like people. You have
mm-hmm.
collective groups of people thinking about football, people thinking about cooking, people thinking about pedophilia, people thinking about saints, people thinking about, you follow?
I
And those are
follow.
millions and millions of people thinking the same things that are
Back up,
banned
back up.
that are bandwidths of frequency. Those frequencies, those frequencies are strong.
So
And
how do you know that a thought is yours or someone else's?
okay, first of all, thoughts aren't yours. No
That's a
thought,
good one.
no thoughts are yours. You think thoughts are private? They're not. Thoughts are in the air everywhere, like I was just saying, like bandwidths of frequency. So the only thing that's real is your higher knowing, your higher awareness, your soul, the God self, the I am that you emerge from. Your body is a temporal anomaly that your soul is observing through. Now, see, the thing is that the system that we're in teaches you that you are the body. It teaches you by saying,
Okay, wait, Michael, because I
yeah,
want our videos to be like not all over. So we've covered a lot of topics. And
okay,
what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a brief outline underneath each video about what we cover so that people
you're
have an
right.
idea.
And so we've covered everything. So you're going to be there forever writing.
No,
Okay.
yeah, but I took some brief notes as to what we covered. And, we've already gone 40 minutes. So I want us to just like wrap it up and we'll
Yeah.
talk
Okay.
about,
Okay.
because the soul, that's a whole other
You're
thread
right.
branch, right?
You're
Like
right.
today we talked about the box that's in our homes and
Yes.
the effects on the individual and the society at large and the organization of our world around that box.
Yes.
We've talked about uh, routines and schools and how all of that is also part of the box
It's
being
an
implemented.
indoctrination
It's
system.
indoctrination. And we've talked about a lot of that, a lot of like
Yeah. Absolutely.
all
I
the
agree.
ways in which we
Let's keep.
are.
Yeah. Let's keep it short, sweet, so people don't get an overload of information. I
Yeah,
agree, Zaina.
yeah.
And it's
And
our
we're
it's
not
our show
saying,
together. And we
yes,
hope that all of you out there are enjoying this as much as we are. We enjoy each other's conversations because we feel that we glean a lot from it. Even if we talk about nonsense, there's always a pearl of wisdom that seems to show up. So we're asking you all to please bear with us in these beginning stages of putting these shows together. We're wanting with a pure intention to be of service and uplift all. We
yes,
want to be
yes.
a part of the raising and upliftment of this planet. We
Which
want to
doesn't mean avoiding, avoiding
no, no,
conversations that are uncomfortable. On the contrary, we welcome that. And I think once, if we get people going, like, anyways, yeah, I'm really jumping far into the future now.
no, that's fine, Zaina. I totally respect everything that you're saying. I have a lot of love to share with everyone, as Zaina does. We just on the at the spur of a moment said this afternoon. We said let's put a show. Let's just spontaneously record our conversations and put it out there. Somebody will benefit from this.
Yeah, I'm from the belief, and I just want to share that to wrap this up. I'm from the belief that you are your own teacher. And I find myself when I have conversations with Michael that I'm not pedestalizing him, that, in any way, but I definitely feel that, I can resonate with him on certain things. Yes, sometimes he goes off into tangent that I don't understand or have the capabilities of, but it's okay. I still understand that, you know, there are certain vibrations that him and I vibrate on and understand. And I know that in certain things that I'm curious about and learning intuitively, he already has experiences with. And so whenever I converse with him, I really feel like I'm just learning without being taught how to, but through my conversations with him, how to tap into those cells in my being that
Yeah.
are all knowing and
Yes. Yes.
aligned.
So
And
it's just we're reminding each other again, the reverence that we have on the soul level, we're remembering this at this level. And we're starting to realize that, hey, unless I revere this individual over here, I'm not going to get the missing piece of my puzzle.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing here. We're retrieving missing pieces of ourselves to become whole.
Remembering
Whole.
who we are.
Yes, whole, root of holy, because you are a holy being. You are a divine being of pure light. Your light has slowed down to create this avatar being in the mind realm of this world. Do not get confused that you are the body. You are not the body. You are the being that is observing through the body. Now, because your body has been here a while, it's been through an indoctrination system that has programmed that body vessel avatar to think that it's real. It's not.
And
Why?
mm,
Because it's moving and changing. If it was real, it would be eternally stable, like your I am, which is observing through that body and is not judging it. It's not having an opinion as to whether it's decaying quickly or maintaining. It's not judging anybody around it. It's observing the body believing that it's judging, the body believing that it's decaying, the body believing that it's getting fat, that it's getting skinny, that it's sick, that it's healthy, that it's happy, that it's screwing, that it's celibate. It's observing all of these things as the body believes that it's experiencing these things. But look at it like this: if you were to walk into a movie and start to cry and start to laugh, get excited, get afraid, as soon as you walk out, you and your buddy talk about how scary it was, how inspiring it was, but you realize it was just a movie. See, once you awaken and make contact with your true self, you'll realize that everything, including your body, is just a projection on the mind of the world screen. And you're moving through that mind. Your body is moving through that mind, a part of that mind. It's a part of the movie. Your soul is observing through that and all of the events that are taking place. It's not affected. It's not. When you get sad, stop for a moment, or angry, stop for a moment. Ask yourself, who is the one that's getting sad? Who is the one that's getting angry? Ask your soul, can you get angry? Can you get sad? And you'll realize there is no answer, because that's a part of this realm of the polarities, the happiness, the sadness, the anger, the elation. Okay? It's all a part of this awareness here of the polarities. That's why the Buddha said the middle path. Stay in the middle path. Don't get too happy, because as far as the pendulum will swing to happiness, it'll swing just as far to sadness to regain balance once again.
I agree. And the more we can like really, hold ourselves in that middle line, the life just gets easier in that
It
respect.
certainly does. Neutrality, that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Right, Zeina?
All
I'll
right,
let you
Michael,
close
let's
it.
wrap
I'll
it up
let you close
though.
it out. You close it up, honey.
So yeah, just this is our first go. We're running on 48 minutes here. I really enjoyed it. I mean, Michael and I do this all day.
Yeah.
And you never know, we might record one even later today. But for now, this one's going to be a wrap up. So thank you if you joined us this far.
Thank you.
I am personally very grateful, and I know that Michael is very grateful. If you can comment and share with a friend who would like to hear this while they're cooking or whatever, it strikes up conversation between friends. So I hope that's what it does for you. I hope it creates some inspiration. I hope it creates some space within yourself to hold other perspectives that might be different than your own. And we look forward to hearing from you and hopefully, look forward to seeing you again in our second episode. Okay, lots of love.
Thank you all. Namaste, Zeina. Namaste to all.
Namaste to all.
Okay, ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.